Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Let's just jump right into it today, because we're doing something really fun. We are completely deconstructing the visual and narrative design of a wildly popular 3D nursery rhyme journey. Yep, we're talking about Chromatic Ducklings. If you've ever found yourself wondering how modern children's media just locks in a toddler's attention so perfectly, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down the environments, the character designs, and the underlying themes that make this specific source material an absolute masterclass in captivation. So think about this for a second. What makes a nursery rhyme truly magical? It's a huge, serious question for anyone creating early childhood content. What exact elements have to come together to keep a toddler deeply engaged, all while they're actually learning something? I mean, is it just flashing bright colors? Is it just a catchy beat? Well, as we'll see throughout this explainer, it's actually this highly deliberate, careful symphony of visual and narrative choices. It's literally about engineering a very specific experience. Section 1. A vibrant, animated world. Okay, before we even meet our characters, we gotta understand the stage they're stepping onto. Picture this. We open on a perfectly sunny morning right next to a sparkling pond. It's totally surrounded by flowers, little butterflies, and these really gentle, rolling hills. The source material specifically calls out soft lighting and a totally joyful, safe atmosphere. And this isn't just a pretty background, right? It's a very deliberate psychological grounding for a preschooler. By using these rich, sensory elements, like the sparkling water and those soft hills, the design is painting a vivid picture of a world that is completely non-threatening and just entirely welcoming. It basically sets the viewer's baseline emotional state to happy and secure before a single thing even happens. And we are definitely not talking about basic 2D drawings here anymore. We're talking Pixar-inspired quality, all delivered in stunning 4K resolution. Think about glossy textures, cinematic rendering, and these incredibly smooth camera motions. These are visuals we usually reserve for massive blockbuster films, right? But here, they're being deployed to keep a toddler sitting still for 3 whole minutes, which, let's be honest, is a total miracle all on its own. So why use this super high-end tech for a simple nursery rhyme? Because this level of intense detail and bright saturated color is exactly what grabs and holds a child's attention. Plus, those smooth, gentle camera motions ensure that all this visual input isn't jarring. It lets the young viewer easily process the vibrant rainbow colors and this gorgeous world without getting overwhelmed or overstimulated. Section 2. Meet the Chromatic Ducklings. All right, so we've got our perfectly rendered stage set up. Let's zoom in from that macro environment to the micro details and finally meet our core cast. Here they are, our vibrant little stars. We've got one red, one orange, one green, one yellow, and one blue duckling. Now notice how their distinct colors are paired with what the source describes as ultra-cute proportions. We're talking super cute round faces, big expressive eyes, and really soft fluffy feathers. Each one of them is just packed with a playful personality and these wonderfully exaggerated, joyful expressions. And guys, this isn't just a cute artistic choice, it's a massive educational tool. By assigning one solid, highly saturated color to each distinct, ultra-cute character, the design is directly driving visual engagement. A toddler isn't just looking at a duck, they're building a really strong associative memory with the colors red, orange, green, yellow, and blue, simply because those colors are tied to these lovable, highly expressive little faces. And there's actually a very intentional reason there are exactly 5 adorable ducklings. You see, 5 creates this dynamic group that's varied enough to show off a whole spectrum of colors, but it's still small enough to stay totally focused. It makes for a highly manageable group dynamic that is just absolutely perfect for early childhood content. It's not some massive, confusing flock that's hard to track. It's a small, easily understandable family unit. Section 3. The Nurturing Mama Duck. Speaking of family units, we really need to shift our focus to the crucial anchoring character in this whole scene, the one who's actually guiding this colorful cast. This dynamic brilliantly illustrates the balance of the entire piece. On one side, you have the tiny, hyper-energetic, brightly colored ducklings. They represent pure, unbridled, playful energy, right? But then, contrasting that perfectly, is Mama Duck. She's slightly larger, projecting this incredibly warm, caring presence with a super friendly smile and really nurturing expressions, while the ducklings happily follow along behind her. This contrast is absolutely crucial. The duckling's energetic playfulness is grounded by the calming, nurturing presence of the mama duck. It visually and narratively drives home the theme of family bonding, and it provides a very secure emotional anchor for the child watching. Mama duck is basically the safe home base from which her colorful little ducklings can go out and explore. Section 4. Playful movement and music. Okay, So we've got our beautiful world and our perfectly balanced characters. Let's get into the action segment of this explainer and see how these characters actually interact within their world. The source material outlines a very specific choreographed journey here. First up, the ducklings waddle and hop in a little line right behind Mama Duck. Then they're splashing around in puddles and flapping their tiny wings. And finally, they all come together to form these beautiful, colorful patterns. But what's absolutely key here is that these specific actions sync up flawlessly to the energetic nursery rhyme music. It creates a rhythmic progression. The really smooth 3D animation makes sure that all the waddling and hopping matches the exact beat of the catchy children's song. It essentially creates this multi-sensory loop of music and movement that is just incredibly satisfying for a preschooler's brain to process.
And it goes way beyond just marching in a straight line. The environment itself is full of props for joyful interactions. We're talking about chasing butterflies, floating along on that sparkling pond, and dancing right there among the flowers. The ultra-smooth movements and those exaggerated, joyful expressions make all of this action so incredibly easy and fun to follow. Notice there are no sudden, jarring, or confusing camera cuts. It's just a continuous, fluid, child-friendly exploration that legitimately makes the viewer feel like they are right there, playing down by the pond with them.
Section 5, the educational magic. Now, let's pull all of this together. Let's synthesize the high-end visuals, the character designs, and that joyful movement to reveal the real underlying educational purpose of this entire design. The ultimate goal here is blending pure happiness and entertainment with actual foundational concepts. We're talking about learning colors, understanding the basics of friendship, and reinforcing family bonding. Because the ducklings are so incredibly visually distinct and the setting is just so cheerful, these educational goals are achieved completely naturally. The preschooler is learning without ever actually feeling like they're sitting through some formal, boring lesson. The vibrant rainbow colors naturally teach color recognition. The dancing teaches rhythm and mimicking motor skills. And simply following Mama Duck reinforces that core idea of family safety. It is literally stealth learning, wrapped up in a beautiful, glossy 3D package. To really sum up the overarching feeling that all these deliberate design choices are aiming to evoke, the source material honestly says it best. The mood is upbeat, wholesome, educational, and magical. And that hits the nail on the head. Every single detail we've unpacked today, from the 4K cinematic rendering of the water to the fluffy green feathers of just one single duckling, is in service of generating this exact mood. It is a total masterclass in tone, perfectly engineered to give parents a much-needed breather while genuinely enriching their child's day at the exact same time. Which brings us to our final thought to leave you with today. How does combining cinematic, feature film quality 3D animation with foundational learning completely transform early childhood education? Think about that for a second. When we treat preschool media with the exact same visual respect and detailed structure as blockbuster entertainment, we aren't just distracting kids, we are deeply engaging them. We're creating this magical safe space where learning just happens naturally and joyfully. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And next time you see a kids show, keep looking closely at the design of the media around you. You might be surprised by what you find.